Well, good Friday morning, everybody. It is July 16th, and today we're just going to take a little bite. I tend to like to take smaller bits of scripture or keep shorter devotion on Friday since it's a day off for me. And tomorrow it'll be a little longer, I think. We're going to finish a chapter tomorrow. We'll go from 27 to 44 tomorrow, and so that one's going to be a little bit longer devotion, I think. But today we're just going to look at 21 to 27, or 26, excuse me. Acts 27 verses 21 to 26 is what we're going to bite off today. And again, it shouldn't be very long. So let's just jump right into it, and we'll get through this one. Acts 27 verses 21 to 26. Since they had been without food for a long time, Paul then stood up among them and said, "Men, you should have listened to me and not have set sail from Crete, and thereby avoided this damage and loss. I urge you now to keep up your courage, for there will be no loss of life among you, but only of the ship. For last night there stood by me an angel of the God to whom I belong and whom I worship. And he said, 'Do not be afraid, Paul. You must stand before the emperor, and indeed God has granted safety to all those who are sailing with you. So keep up your courage, men, for I have faith in God that it will be exactly as I have been told, but we will have to run aground on some island.'" Okay. Remember they threw over the tackle, whatever that meant, whether it meant the sails or what have you, some part of the ship. So they are trying to lighten the load so they didn't take on so much water. They have had a heck of a time, as they say. And so Paul has had this vision of an angel coming to him and reassuring him. Now remember, Paul told them, based on his own experience, so we don't really to think that previously that he had any, excuse me, that he had any divine insight. Rather, Paul just had this intuition. Having been shipwrecked a number of times, having been on the sea before, he had this intuition in him. It may have been a spiritual thing, but he doesn't say so. But here, this is definitely an angel coming to him. This is a vision that he's had, and he's definitely speaking with the word from God. Angel is a messenger from God. So here, he is saying to them, they haven't been eating. It's been so volatile that they haven't had time to eat, or haven't been able to try to prepare anything to eat. But he's saying to them now, you should have listened to me. And I remember when we were talking about that earlier, when he warned them before, that how you sometimes talk to your loved ones and say, you shouldn't take this course of action, but they are bound and determined that they're going to do it anyway. And that's a frustration as a parent, a grandparent, great-grandparent. I only know it as a parent, but I definitely know it as a parent. Trust me on that one. When you tell your bullheaded child that they shouldn't take this course of action, but by golly, they do it anyway. Now I know how my mother felt when she was dealing with me. Anyway, but here he is saying to them, after that, if he's been shown to be right, they shouldn't have left the Fair Haven. They should have stayed there. But notice what Paul does. He does tell them, you know, I've told you that you shouldn't have left. But instead of beating a dead horse, as they say, and keep driving that home, he turns immediately to encouraging them, doesn't he? I urge you now to keep up your courage. He says that to them. And again, so in verse 25, so keep up your courage, men, for I have faith in God. He's not beating them, saying, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so, and just walking around saying that. He's saying, okay, I warned you about this, but I'm encouraging you now. And he turns into an encourager. He's trying to help them get through it, rather than just saying, I was right, I was right, I was right. That's not really helpful. Sorry. So we need to remember that in our lives, dealing with our family, dealing with our own life. We should remember that in dealing with ourselves, because sometimes we even harp on ourselves. Why'd you do that, dummy? Yeah, I do that a lot. So the scripture is a good one to look at. Don't do that. Have faith. God's going to get you through this. We're going to talk more about that tomorrow, though. So with that, I'm going to let you go. As I said, I'm trying to keep it short today. Have a very blessed Friday, and please be a blessing to someone today. Encourage him. God bless. Bye-bye.